Welcome to the Featured Anime Podcast. I'm your host, Jack.
And I'm Rick.
And today we are talking about The Demon Girl Next Door, which was recommended to us by Magical Girl Jeb. Thank you for Jeb for this wonderful recommendation. But before all that, we were talking about honestly a whole bunch of stuff, and Rick going to horny jail a little bit. You know, I talked about last week's choice a little bit, and you know, just honestly just had just in general fun having a wonderful discussion. If you want to catch a part of the wider conversation, go to patreon.com/featured anime podcast. $1 a month will get you access to that bonus content. Or if you join us live, we usually stream Mondays at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can come hang out with us, talk with us, and everything like that. And, you know, be happy to have you hang out with us there. And of course, if you want to get yourself some nice, delicious, tasty treats, we do have an affiliate link for Tokyo Treat. And if you use coupon code Featured Anime, you get $5 off that very first box. And trust me, those treats are worth it, and they are delicious. Every time I get a box in, I blow my diet, and I just can't get enough of those wonderful treats. And if you want to help support us through other means and buy yourself some swanky swag, you can go to shop.featuredanimepodcast.com, and we have some new merch and products coming out every so often, and we're retiring some of the older ones, and we're going to be replacing the older style Bolson with the newer Bolson. So if you want to catch that wonderful friend of ours before he gets that marketed update, please go to shop.featuredanimepodcast.com and get him before he's gone. And of course, if you want to reach out to us, contact us, and everything else, all the information is available to you in the show notes as well as on featuredanimepodcast.com. And now onto the meat and potatoes. Demon Girl Next Door came out in July 2019 and ran all the way through September 2019. Producer for it is Pony Canyon, TBS, just to name a couple of them. The studio for it is JC Staff, and it's a comedy, fantasy, shoujo, slice of life anime. And it's a pretty honestly pretty innocent, simple anime. So basically, after our main character, Yuko, has this really kind of strange dream, which is actually her ancestor talking to her demon side, the demon powers that is within her awaken, and she grows horns and tails overnight. And she is told that in order to break the curse that is over her family, which happens to be very intricate and very specific and detailed, which is in the way that it is kind of comedic as well. She is told the only way to lift this curse is to drain the blood of a magical girl and use that to release the curse. This is a show that follows Yuko and Momo as they journey through these events together, where she is able to grow as a character, grow as a demon, and then also at the exact same time try and find a way to lift the curse, as well as discover events and happenings and have answers to questions that she never knew she actually had.
Accurate.
I mean,
I thought there was more to it, to be honest.
I mean, I boiled it down. I tried to boil it down to like the bare minimal, right? I mean, in general, Yuko, when she becomes a demon girl, funnily enough, everyone in the city
just doesn't even bat an eye.
No one bats an eye, and they are pretty openly accepting. And then also at the exact same time, they're like, when Yuko is like, "Oh, I have to find this magical girl," they're like, "Oh yeah, no, she's in Class A. She's like right there." It's like, what?
Yeah. Oh, you're looking for someone? Yeah, no problem. It's right there.
Yeah.
Okay. We know exactly who you're referring to, where to find them, their best phone number to reach them at, things like that. And you're like, okay. Don't know why this is public knowledge, but since it is,
right.
Onward and attack, so to speak. And the first attack turns out to be abysmal, much like the second and third and fourth and 20th. No, the crazy thing is, like, every attack that this little demon girl tries is woefully weak. You find out that she is so underpowered, even for a normal person before her awakening, so to speak. And it goes beyond weak. You're like, how do you walk or run or anything? And the magic girl, instead of seeing her as like a demon to be vanquished, she's like, oh, I'm going to actually, instead of attacking you, I'm going to build you up because I want to. I guess there's no real hard reason why she's an ally to this demon rather than a mortal enemy, as you would assume, you know? And it just goes hard in the I'm a weak individual, please help me. And I think tsundere, is that the right way to say it? Tsundere, where she's like, I'm a strong, independent, I don't need to thank you for your help. Thank you for your kindness. Oh, there's food. Thank you. And her family, the demon girl's family, Yoko. Anyway, there's a curse that they were placed under.
Wait, you're talking about Yuko's family, right? Yoshida?
Yes.
The Yoshidas?
Yes. The Yoshidas, yes. For some reason, I was thinking Yoshi. But yeah, the Yoshidas were placed
close
under...
enough. I mean, like, you just add the duh at the end of it. Yoshi, duh.
Yes, this is true. They were placed under a curse. And this curse, you find out much, much later, was adjusted so that they're not horribly disenfranchised, let's call it. So that now, instead of being under this immense curse, they're under a different curse that has a monetary value, which essentially means that they are not allowed to earn, save, or accrue more than 40,000 yen per month, which leaves our main protagonist to have a 125 or 150 yen a month allowance.
No, 40,000 a month yen allowance.
Family.
Yeah.
But the girl, the little girl.
Oh, are you talking about her allowance?
Yes.
Yeah, that's all she was given. But then, you know, to help fight off the demon, or not the demon, but the magic girl, she had her allowance bumped up to 500.
Yes.
Which was blown really, really quick.
Yeah. It was blown in one meal. But I say all that to say there was a soda that she was able to purchase that cost 120. And I'm like, your month's allowance can buy one soda if spent inappropriately.
Well, I mean, it's not that her month's allowance by just the soda. The soda was 120 yen. And then she also had herself some yakisoba at the exact same time too. Well,
yeah, but the yakisoba was what, 3 something?
Yeah. It was like 380, and then it was 120, and then just for that meal and drink combo, blew through her month's allowance.
Oh man. Didn't she have a didn't she borrow 500 yen from...
She did. Yes.
Yeah, and that's how she became indebted. And she's like, I can't kill you till I pay you off.
Yeah.
And the girl's like,
yeah,
okay, well, let's put you on a payment plan.
What's crazy is Yuko is so easily manipulated by everyone when it comes to food and everything like that. And that's honestly one of the more endearing features about the show is that Yuko is very easily manipulated. And it's not in such a bad or negative way. It's like, no, you just can't, you just can't fight me until you pay me back. And I don't want you to have to pay me back and go into destitution or whatever else, or this or that. I want you to do something else with it. And then basically convinces her to
remain in debt.
Yeah, but basically perpetually, forever is what it ends up being, you know?
So again, I don't know why they're being so nice. I don't understand why the mortal enemy of one is like yeah, well, I used to be that, but not anymore. I'm a reformed hero. That yeah. I think the fact that she's so physically and mentally and emotionally weak plays into the I'm not dangerous mentality, you know?
Yeah, they do kind of lean hard into certain aspects of certain things. That kind of like lean her away from like, oh, you're just harmless or this or that or whatever else. The thing is it's Yuko's not the only one that's easily manipulated. Lilith is also easily manipulated too at the exact same time, which is her ancestor. Yuko's ancestor is Lilith, who lives in a totem that was being used as a doorstop and paperweight.
Oh yeah, that was funny. I am your ancestor. How dare you? Oh, word. My bad. Oh goodness. And the funny thing is, like, so eventually she does somehow, some way, either on accident, on purpose, however you'd like to put it, steal a portion of magic away from the magical girl.
Yeah.
And
not even on purpose, just a little bit. And it happens by happenstance too. She's like, I'm just trying to be nice, and comes home and it's like, oh, ancestor, why are you right there? I'm so sorry. Puts her in the bag where the drop, literally a drop of blood, was absorbed by a piece of cloth, and it just happened to be enough to undo the seal just a little bit.
Yeah, well, just enough that now the financial limitation of 40,000 yen a month is gone to the point of the mom is like, oh yeah, by the way, the police called. You remember that 148,000 yen that I lost over the course of the last month?
Yeah,
they found it and returned it, so we're rich now. So let's get the food that's disposable. And
well, it's not that they got the food that's disposable. It's like they tried splurging, but she still got the exact same stuff that they had to do on
just
that
in greater quantities.
Yeah, and on top of that, what to make matters worse is like after they bought it all, the electricity went out and it killed the refrigerator, their old and busted refrigerator. Yeah. And then when they finally get the refrigerator in, it's like, yeah, this is too big. We're going to have to bring this back and you have to get a smaller one. It's like, oh, dirty. Yeah. Dirty.
She's like, we have the money now, but the curse is in full swing of major minor inconsistencies all over the place.
Yeah.
Not inconveniences. Sorry.
Yeah.
You got enough money for the fridge? Fantastic. It doesn't fit. You got enough money for the food? Fantastic. The fridge failed. Now it's all going to spoil.
but you know, they do find ways around it to make it so that way they don't lose all the food, you know?
Yeah. They end up cooking it and stuff like that and preserving it, gifting it, so to speak. Oh, man. And it was so odd to me that you had more than one magical girl just pop off, right? And everyone's got a problem. I personally think our main magical girl here has PTSD trauma for some weird phenomenon that has happened to her in the past. And her friend has some phenomena that happens that whenever her heart rate goes a little erratic from either excitement, fear, sadness, any kind of emotion.
Yeah.
Trauma happens around her. Not to her, around her. Those in close proximity have misfortunes, extreme misfortunes befall them.
Yeah. And well, it's not even like extreme, just any extreme misfortunes, right? It is some of the most random and obtuse misfortunes ever. So like Mikan starts panicking or whatever, and a cloud will literally form above you and downpour and thunder on you. Just you. Like all these random things will just start happening and to just you or whoever happens to be there. And it's not even stuff that would like make sense. Like bags of trash that are right there. It's like, oh, okay. You know, misfortune is everyone comes and it's like, hey, I need you to take all this trash away. And it's like, okay, I could get that. That's a realistic misfortune. However, all the bags then explode trash everywhere for no reason whatsoever.
But like specifically in your general direction. Yeah.
So honestly, the show has a lot of comedic moments. It has a lot of very cute points. This is not a show where it is heavy. It is not a show that is like, it has a little bit of fan service. All right. What do you mean where?
I mean, where did you see fan service? Oh, well, no. Okay. In her transformation to combat mode.
Right.
All right. I'll give you, but like,
that's about it. Right.
Yeah.
But so like in terms of this show, how it is, right? Because it was like magical girls and everything like that. I expected this to be like a very fan servicey type of show. And it didn't. It was not that. And in fact, they poke fun at how on how Yuko's attire is. Like even Yuko doesn't even like it. She actually hates it.
No.
Like
she's like, I can't change to run. No.
Yeah.
I'll walk slowly.
Exactly. And she hates it, right? And everyone else is like, yeah, you shouldn't be outside dressed like that. And she says, I know, I don't want to be outside like this. I don't want to dress like this and everything like that. So
she's like, I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
I can't change back.
Exactly. So it's not that it's always there, but I love how they integrated that portion of it and then poked fun at all the flaws and everything else that happens throughout the show. They're not afraid to point at it and poke fun at it and just in general have fun with it. Like when Momo transforms into her magical girl state, they literally have a timer because it goes through this whole sequence, but they have a timer that's shown in milliseconds. And they're like, yeah, it's like 0.08. Oh, she broke her that's a personal best. She even comments on, that's a personal best. And then you see it one time in real time where instantly she just pops right into her attire. It's not even a full second. So like they're not afraid to have fun with it, right? They're willing to have fun with their quirks, their flaws and everything like that. The ridiculousness of it all, Yeah,
the show definitely does not take itself seriously, and that's one of its endearing factors, I feel.
Yeah, exactly. No, honestly, we could talk about the show a lot more. But I will say this, you do have some more in-depth moments, some more like thought out plot points in this, like what's going on with Yuko, more so with Momo, the details behind why they never really met before, even though they were in the same class, the details behind Yuko, her family, her father, and then same thing with Momo. You find more about her details and backgrounds and everything like that, especially towards the end. And they kind of like push, I feel like they kind of push a lot of the information out to you in the last like 2 episodes. During the last 2 episodes, they do a lot of pushing, a lot of information, a lot comes out during those last 2 episodes. And I feel like that's one of the drawbacks.
Drawbacks, okay.
Yeah, is that you have basically 10 episodes of kind of hinting on, kind of touching on, kind of everything else. And then the last 2 episodes, they just jam pack so much in those last 2 episodes.
I mean, yes, they do. But I mean, they kind of had to, because it felt like they were trying to wrap up everything. They were trying to like make it a nice clean cut, trying to tie everything, all loose ends up, and they weren't really expecting a season 2, which they do actually have. So I'm curious how the pacing will be over here. The pacing definitely could have been better. if they expected it to be just 12 episodes.
Yeah. No, and I guess that's kind of one of the more positive notes is that they did kind of try to wrap up some of those loose ends, but also at the exact same time leave enough open for them to come in and be like, hey, if there's a season 2, which there is, if there's a season 2, there's still enough groundwork for us to kind of build off of, but still give you a satisfactory ending like they did had there not been a season 2.
Correct. Yeah.
All right. Well, do you have any other particular viewpoints you want to try and hit, sir, before we go into our rating?
The only thing that kind of annoyed me about, one of the major plots that really annoyed me was the fact that they kind of made her the worst one out of her entire family, as far as athleticism, as far as magical potential, as far as a lot of things, knowledge, and they kind of made her younger sister everything that she could have been. So I guess that's kind of the funny part of it, where you're like, oh, you could have, should have, would have, but no, that kind of thing. I don't know.
Well, I like that how they kind of broached that topic. So she takes after her mother more so in the terms of that, but also the reasons why she's really weak and everything else is because she had a lot of health problems and dealings in regards to that. Now how that's all resolved, how that's all taken care of, and everything else really comes out in the last 2 episodes. Right. Yeah. So you get those answers, you get the answers in the kind of a more detailed reasoning behind it. Like they broached the topic early on in the series, but then they really kind of discuss it in more detail along with everything else later on after that point. And things that they kind of seemingly just like glance over. It's like, oh, because of this one thing over here, they again revisit that during those last 2 episodes and really kind of go into depth and detail a little bit more. Not great detail, but go into more detail about it.
Yeah, it was just cursory. Like we were saying, it's enough to close the chapter if there's not another and be satisfied, kind of. So that's my only gripe with it. But other than that, I'm ready for a rating. What about you?
I am. So on a scale of up to 10, sir, how would you rate this?
I am going to give this a 6 because it's not my cup of tea. It's very cutesy. It's very, at times very slow, but there's an appeal that grows on you in a weird way. Not like a fungus or something like that, but if you give it 4 episodes, I typically only give like 1 or 2 episodes. Well, 1 for sure, 2 or 3 to see if it's good or bad. But this one took about 4 before it actually caught my attention and kept me paying attention, if you will. And yeah, like there's a few gripes that I got about it that are beyond spoiler proof, if you will, but or beyond the spoiler, if you will. But yeah, if you're into cutesy stuff, if you're into feel good, if you're into lighthearted, several times it was belly gripping laughter. So that they do have some really solid comedic points. Then I'd recommend this. But yeah, I wouldn't. If you like more drama filled stuff, it's just not here. So I'm going to give it a 6.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 7. I'm actually going to go higher than you on this one. I enjoyed it. It was cute. It was lighthearted. It's something that I really didn't have to worry about watching too much.
Location wise.
Right. It was entertaining. It gave me most of what I wanted out of it, which was semi-decent story, entertainment, easy to follow, lighthearted. It wasn't heavy. It was not heavy. That's one of the things that kind of really made me happy. I disliked how short it was, and I wish the story was a little bit more in depth, but I understand why they didn't, so, but it was good overall for what it was. And some of the gimmicks though, kind of like the constant change timer for Momo after the first couple of times, kind of like, okay, I really don't need to see this every single time. Right. And it was off. It wasn't that often, but it was often enough for you to go, okay, I feel like I could fast forward past this, especially and for all the changing sequences. It's like, all right, I feel like I could fast forward past this, and that's kind of what detracted it for me. But yeah, for me, 7, you 6. Next week's choice. Obviously, we're gonna go do season 2. Because We're just awesome like that. What can I say? I mean, we're a couple cool cats, so to speak.
No hubris whatsoever.
None at all. None at all. But if you feel like we got something right, something wrong, did this too much justice, not enough justice, or anything like that, feel free to let us know. All that contact information and everything like that is available in the show notes, as well as on our website at featuredanimepodcast.com. If you want to get yourself some swanky swag and help support us like that, you can go to shop.featuredanimepodcast.com. And if you want to support us by becoming a patron, listening to the pre-show that we usually do with every episode, you can go to patreon.com/featured anime podcast. $1 a month gets you access to bonus content. And of course, wonderful Tokyo treats. If you want some delicious Tokyo treats, use our affiliate link in the show notes along with coupon code featured anime, and you get $5 off that very first box. And if you want to check out the anime, you can feel free to do so. But we do have a streaming service affiliate links for you for Crunchyroll. Unfortunately, this is, as far as I know, not on there, but they do have some other wonderful anime. And if you love Kaijo, like Rick loves Kaijo, that is on there. So feel free to go check it out. And it does help support us, helps us grow. And until next time, I'm Jack.
I'm Rick, and we'll see you next time.